Oh man.
Any right way to bring some
What up, bro?
What's
Good to see
going
you
on,
this morning. You at work?
man? Yes, sir. Unfortunately, well, not
So
unfortunately.
it's all good. Once we get these prices right, we get you on the marketing for shooters, get you out of the job.
Hey, you feel me?
We don't give
How you
about.
feeling?
I feel good. Definitely excited for day two. I think this is a very juicy day. I know I've been saying juicy over the last 24 hours, but today is definitely gonna be a juicy day. So we're gonna give it to it's 11:03 again. I say 11:05, and then we're gonna get started. Let me get this YouTube going, and let me get this um, Instagram live going right quick. Um, mhm, mhm. I'll keep it. We got some people on board in here. Got some people on board in here. I guess we start at the normal time, 11:03. We gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen. Ooh, ooh. Mm. All right, it's 11:03. Let's go ahead and pray in right quick. Lord, we thank you for bringing us here. We thank you for just continuing to allow us to meet. Everybody is on here, hopefully safely. I ask that you allow me to say the words that you want me to say today. Allow me just to help photographers have a new mindset about pricing themselves the right way, and just allow me to be a light in the photography community to do what's necessary to benefit and honor your kingdom. In Jesus' name, amen. So, yesterday, we recapped, we talked about understanding your deep why, and everybody got homework on that. We talked about your values, and we also talked about the number one fear that causes photographers not to charge what they are worth, right? And that number one fear was you feel like nobody's going to pay your price. Now, we feel like nobody's going to pay your price. We had to unpack that, right? We had to prove to ourselves yesterday that that was not true. Okay. So, with us proving to ourselves yesterday that that's not true, we had to tap into the law of opposites, right? In order for a thing to be something, it has to be an opposite. So that up has down, left has right, day has night, right? And we take that and we apply that to our photography business. And we tap in and understand that although it's someone who won't pay your price, it's going to be somebody who will. Although it's somebody who will pay your price, it's going to be somebody who won't. And I think the cool thing I told y'all yesterday was that you got to fall in love with no's, right? Fall in love, no's are okay. You're going to get more no's after this 5-day challenge than you get yes. But that is why we also put you through the marketing for shooters so you can get more yeses than no's. So We got a lot of information to unpack today. I'm not gonna ramble. We're gonna get straight into it. Let me pull up my whiteboard again and just get started. If you didn't do yesterday's homework, shame on you. I got a couple turn-ins, just I think about 2 or 3 turn-ins yesterday. But if you have not turned it in, come on now, this is for you. I I don't have to force you to be better. It's either you want to be better or you don't. Simple. So let's get straight to it. Let's move this out the way. Let's get a pen going. Mike, I see you on here. What's up, bro? Let's get a pen going. Here we go. So how to price yourself. And you can send it to me. You can send me the homework. All right. How to price yourself. Everybody write this down at the top of the paper. The most important thing when it comes to pricing yourself and knowing, having confidence when you are doing this is understanding and knowing. Let's see. Knowing your numbers. So that's the title of the day. All right. The title of the day is going to be knowing your numbers. You have to know your numbers in order for you to price yourself effectively. Because when you know your numbers, when you know what you need to charge, when you know what you need to make every month, when you know what your monthly salary is, when you know all these different components, it gives you the confidence to go out there and charge the price. Because another reason why people don't charge what they need to charge is because lack of knowledge, right? And if you don't have the information you need, you're not confident to go do the action that's required with the information if you had it. So it's like you cannot miss the step of acquiring the information that you need so you can go out and build your confidence, right? And you guys know that in order to build confidence, you have to build your competence. That's reps. You just don't go out in a boxing match on your first time and you just super sweet. You super know you about to beat my man's up. You probably gonna get knocked out. You have to continue to go in the ring each and every day and practice and practice and practice and practice. Now, when we apply that to a photography business, we have to know information. I'm not saying you have to be perfect because being perfect is going to cause you to procrastinate. And procrastination is going to cause you to doubt, which means you lack belief. So what I need you to do is don't think about knowing everything, but focus today on knowing your numbers. So there are 5 components. If you got your notes, if you got a piece of paper, 5 components you need to know in order to create your packages, right? In order to get to that next step, because right now we got to figure out our numbers. And then we got to figure out, now that we know our numbers, who is our ideal clientele that we want to have to pay our price. And once we get that, then we create our offer, our irresistible offer around our numbers and our ideal clientele so we can have foundational pricing and value pricing. So the 5 components, right? Write this down and on your notes. The 5 components. Here we go. Number 1, you must know your cost of doing business. Right? That's the first component. Number 2, you must know your monthly salary. And we're going to unpack these in a second. Right? Number 3, you must know how much you want to save. And number 4, you must know how many clients you want to serve a month. I see you fat, say you taking notes online. Right? And a month. And then lastly, you got to know your sales goals. How much do you need to make? What is your sales goals for yourself, right? So let's unpack this, everybody. Let's unpack this. We're gonna make a new whiteboard for ourselves. Here we go. Let's see. Boom. Boom. All right, so number one, your cost of doing business, right? CODB equals cost of doing business. And then y'all can fill that in. It's best to write it on your paper like this. All right. So your cost of doing business is going to be every expense it takes you to run your photography business, right? Every single thing that comes out of your photography business bank account every single month, rather if you book 0 clients or 10 clients, is going to be your cost of doing business. All right. So that can be your client gallery software, your rent, if you rent in the studio, your Adobe, anything that has to be paid for, regardless if you have clients or not. This is literally the first step and probably the most important step, and well, top 3 of the steps. But you have to do this part. This is the first step you have to do in order to get to where you want to be and charge what you are worth. Because if you don't know what makes up your worth, you cannot charge what you are worth. So that's why it's important to do your cost of doing business so that you can know what you are worth. So next, in the breakdown, we got your monthly salary. Your monthly salary. If you want the notes, you can tap into our private community, and all the replays are available until Saturday. And now, your monthly salary. What are you going to pay yourself each and every month from your photography business, right? You shouldn't be using your money from your photography business, like paying for personal stuff out of your photography business account. You should be taking a owner's draw out of your photography business account, transferring it into your personal account so that you can get paid monthly salary. So how do you come up with your monthly salary? You come up with your monthly salary by totaling up all of the bills you have personally, right? That can be your phone bill, your DTE, or your consumer's energy, your water, all those different things, all those personal bills that you have, how your hair care, all those different things is going to make up your fixed expenses, right? Make sure you write that down. This is fixed expenses. But then you say, okay, once I do my fixed expenses, I need to be able to save money, right? I want to be able to save money. So in your monthly salary, you got to have savings budgeted out in there, right? How much do I want to save from my monthly salary? And then lastly, what I like to tell people and what I like to teach is you need to have a piece in there that makes you smile. So that's leisure, right? You want to take the trip you always want to take. You want to be able to cover the tab at the bar or at the restaurant. You want to be able to take yourself on a date or take your spouse on a date, right? You want to go to the carnival. You need to have something that's going to make you smile. And most of the time, it's going to be leisure, invest into your hobbies, whatever it may be. These are the things that will make up your monthly salary, your fixed expenses, all the bills you got to pay because you've grown. The older you get, the more responsibilities you're going to get. So that's your health care, all them different things you got to pay. That's your fixed expenses. Then you got your savings, right? If you want to save $500 a month, $250 a month, $1,000 a month, you got to embed that into your monthly salary. And then you need to have some money for leisure. Go buy you those shoes. To go do all them different things that you want to do with your photography business once you generate the revenue that you want. So we got the cost of doing business, we got the monthly salary, and now next, we have to have our business savings, right? And you may say, well, make sure you write this down. What am I saving for, right? Well, you need to save money for your marketing efforts, right? You need to save money for innovation. So you want to buy a new camera, right? You want to buy a new camera. You want to get a new light. You got to have money for innovation. You got to save for taxes. All right. You got to save for taxes. And then also you got to save for a rainy day. You got to save for a rainy day. So you need to embed this into your prices so that you are able, into your numbers so that you are able to cover all your bases. This is so important. I'm going to show you guys how to do this after we break this down on the whiteboard. But this is very important. And lastly, let's see if I can make room. We're going to put this box right here. You need to know how many clients you want to serve a month. Remember, we are trying to have freedom, not be booked and busy. We're trying to be booked and free. So if you want to have freedom, we should be aiming to do 40 sessions. No, we shouldn't be aiming to do 50. No, we shouldn't be aiming to do 30. No, all right? We really shouldn't even be aiming to do 20. No. I really want everyone in this. I want to challenge everybody, right? I'm going to give everybody a sweet number. And you do not have to choose a sweet number. It's all up to you. We should be aiming, right, to crack 10 or less. Or less. 10 or less. The less, the better. So we could do 3 clients a week, right? 1 day a week. I mean, 1 day out of the 3 days in the week, not back to back to back, right? But if your schedule needs to do that, that's perfectly fine. You can do a 11 a.m. and then you can do a 2 p.m. and then you can do a 5 p.m., right? Or you could do 11, a 12, and a 1. But aim for 10 or lower. Be a part of the 10 or lower club. This is so important because I don't want you guys to go through what I went through. I don't want you guys to go through burnout. You booking all these clients and you are not able to have time to do the things that you love, travel, hang out with your family, do all those different things because you are stuck in the studio, being a slave to the studio. And now you can't do the things that you love. So I want you guys to be a part of the 10 or less club, right? So remember, the cost of doing business, your monthly salary, your savings, the number of clients that you want, and also too as well, let's see if I missed anything, your sales goals. And once we put all these numbers up, we're going to be able to calculate our sales goals and know how much we need to make a year in order to sustain our photography business and our lives. So let's actually get into that. I'm going to show you guys a live example of me doing this using my pricing calculator that I wanted. You do not need the pricing calculator to do this. You could always do this manually for yourself, but I want to show you guys how I use the pricing calculator to be able to calculate my numbers for me, put in how many sessions I want to do a month, and figure out what my sales goals are. So heads up, the homework for today is going to be to calculate your cost of doing business, come up with what your monthly salary is going to be, determine how many clients you need to make a month, determine how many clients you want to serve a month, and also figure out what your sales goals are going to be, right? It's going to require you to do some math. So I was looking at the pricing calculator. How this pricing calculator works is that I have all the categories already put down that you use in your photography business, right? I'm going to put in the monthly estimate. It's going to give me the annual estimate. I'm going to put in how much I want to make a year, how much I want to save, right? And then it's going to automatically do the taxes for me. It's going to put in the health insurance, if you have health insurance, and et cetera. It's going to give me my total. Remember, we need to know how much do we need to make a year in our business. It's going to give me that total. Now, I'm going to change these numbers. We want to be under 10. So everybody, I'm challenging you. If you're on this Zoom, if you're on this live, strive for under 10. That's what I want y'all to go for. So if you strive for under 10, it's going to tell you how much you need to make in sales a month. And it's going to tell you what is the minimum each client must spend with you in order for you to make this number. Now, this is so important because we do sales, right? Let's say we charge $250. Christmas time come around, we'd do a sale for $150 Christmas shoe, $100 off. And if you ever think about that, right, you doing the same amount of work that you're doing for $250, for $150. That's not good for you. That's not good for your business, right? And I think with sales, what you need to do, you need to offer something that does not require your time, right? That does not require you to do more work for less money. So that could be maybe your images, right? The images that people purchase after the shoot could be a lower price. They get a sale on that. Or maybe you have a sale or like a buddy deal or etc. But this kind of your session, if you do a 60-minute session for $250 and then Christmas time come around or holiday come around and now you're doing it for $100, but you're still giving them the same amount of images, you're still doing the same amount of work, they still get the same amount of outfits, it's not gonna make sense, y'all. Don't make sense for the business. So let's break this down. All right, so your accounting, your bookkeeping, your CRM, that is what you need to keep your photography business rolling. That could be Honeybooks, that could be Acuity. Those are the two I've used. I currently use Honeybooks right now. So I know that Honeybooks is at least going to be $35 for myself, right? So what the pricing calculator do, and what you're going to do is you're going to put, okay, you're going to figure out what does it cost me for my CRM to be able to keep me afloat a month. For me, it's $35 a month. And then you're going to times that by 12. That's going to give you the yearly cost. So now you have the monthly cost and the yearly cost. But if you have the pricing calculator, going to do that for you. So all I got to do is put the numbers in, and then it's going to give me what I need. So now you got advertising and marketing. This is so important. How much do you want to spend on advertising and marketing for your business, right? You have to do this. So right, if you start with $25 a day, $25 a month, $50 a month, right? You need to know. So let's say I want to start off with $100 a month. Right? I really want to get my business out there. It's going to be $1,200. Like, are y'all seeing how the pricing calculator works? I put in my monthly estimate, and then it gives me my yearly estimate, and it calculates it for me. But you don't need the pricing calculator. All this is automated, speeding up your process so you can have more time. You don't have to know the numbers, right? This is why I created this. But you can take a pencil. You can take a piece of paper. You can put monthly on one side, annual on the other. Put your business down, your stuff down, and you are able to get your number. So business insurance, let's say your business insurance is $50, but you guys need to go, right? You need to go and you need to calculate what your business insurance is. That's going to be so important. You got to calculate that for yourself. You have to go in there, find your business insurance that works for you. That can be Liberty Mutual, that can be Progressive, that can be whatever you want it to be, right? Now, computer hardware, a lot of people, this can be hard drives, right? This can be all these different things that you need for your photography business. So let's say, how often do you really borrow a hard drive, right? You probably only buy one once every 5 months. But if you once every 5 years or so. But if you're just starting out, you need to grab one. So typically, they about $100. This would kind of be like a one-time purchase for you. Now, computer software. This is where you're coming in. You putting your everything you need. You putting your Adobes, right? You putting in your Lightrooms, right? Y'all know Adobe and Lightroom, and I believe my plan. I think I got Premiere and I got Lightroom and Adobe. I'm gonna just estimate it as $30, but this is gonna take research. This is gonna take time, and if you're just not starting out, this is gonna require you to do this, right? Because you want to be able to charge your work, and if you do not do this part, you will not be able to know what to even charge to get there. And a lot of times, right? A lot of times what we do is we just look to see what everybody else charging. My man's charging 200. My man's charging 250. Let me fit in the middle. Or I don't feel like I'm good enough. Let me just go under just a little bit, right? That his numbers or her numbers is not your numbers, right? Please remember that. Their numbers are not your numbers. And if you think about it, if everybody charging the same price, isn't something wrong? And I know I'm going on a tangent, but I want to help you stand out from the competition. Right. Once we get your numbers together and we get your price list and we figure out who your ideal clientele is, you're going to stand out because you're going to look different. And people are going to be like, man, he charged more than what everybody else charged. It got to be something good. Right. Don't we always think when something is more expensive? Right. And remember, expensive is determined by the person, cheap is determined by the person. But don't we think something has a high price tag or a high price value on it, you think it's better? We think, man, this must really, I wonder what this do. Is that cost that much? Wow. It's the same thing for your photography business. So your equipment and your accessories, right? How much do you want to save or put aside a month to be able to buy you that new light, that new trigger, that new softbox, that new camera that you want, right? That's why, let's just say you want to put aside $25, right? You already got a camera. You want to be able to do that. Your numbers are not going to be these numbers. This is just examples. So you could put $5 towards getting your equipment clean, right? Now, with your lawyering, what do I mean by lawyering, right? This is somebody to protect you or to help you. If anything goes wrong with your business, right? For my photography business, we use Legal Shield. It's a company in Michigan. You may not have it in Michigan, but basically they take out $30 a month, $30 to $50 a month, depending on which plan you get. And you can send your contracts over to them. They can write letters to landlords or letters to clients if they try to take money from you, and etc. So you need somebody to be able to do that for you. Now, miscellaneous, we want to leave this blank. But this is if you don't have, you're like, oh man, I don't see this on here. I need to put this on here. You're going to put it right there, right? Most of you guys don't have a studio, right? Most of you guys will not have office supplies. But what I'm pushing you guys for, you are going to actually have a client experience, right? So you're gonna need cards. You're gonna need bottles of sparkling champagne if you want to do what we do for our experience, right? So you need to have them things, and better to get them things in bulk. You may need to bring water for your clients, right? You are going to need those things so you can take a part of your budget, all right? And don't overthink this when you're doing it. Don't overthink it, right? Choose a number, rock with it, right? Aim higher, don't aim lower. So other studio expenses, if you don't have a studio, which most everybody in here does not, that's okay. You're gonna leave that zero. Phone, including apps for your business. So what is your phone bill, right? What is going to be if you're using CapCut Pro, right? If you got different upgrades of free subscriptions on your phone, you need to put that down. So for example purposes, I'm just gonna put $50, right? And now product samples. If you move in the IPS world, you have to have samples, right? You have to get sample albums. You have to get sample wall art. You got to get sample things because you can only sell what you can show, right? So with the samples, I will go and I'm gonna give you guys two sites you can use right here. You can use WHCC or Art Beat Studios or Miller's, right? WHCC, Art Beat Studios, or Miller's. If you end up joining the Freedom Model Challenge, we talk about this even more. But you want to find out how much does it cost to get a sample from them, and you want to put that in there, right? This is most likely going to be a one-time cost, but for example purposes, let's just say we find an album. We do albums, and the album costs $500. So we're going to put that in there. Now, your professional development, right, and your workshops, right? You come to our Plan Your Future workshop to do your business plan for Q3, right? I mentioned that yesterday, right? We're doing a workshop for portrait photographers who are ready to create a business plan for Q3 because the halfway mark of the year is July 1st. So your professional development workshop, this is so important. The reason that you are here because you are here to get information to get you where you want to be. But all information is not always going to be free. Right? All information is not always going to be free. So you need to budget a certain amount a month to go to that. So that could be 50, that could be 100, right? That could be 250. If you up there, that could be 500, right? But for most people, when they first starting out, let's just say you budget $100 a month to find you a workshop, to find you a class you can go to find you something you can go to in order to grow your mind, expand your mind, introduce you to something new. So props, studio wardrobe. We preach about niching down, becoming a specialist And if you have a niche, if you have a graduation, you do maternity photography, you do newborns, you do etc., you need to have a niche, right? And you're going to have props and studio stuff. So go on there, figure what it costs to get you a couple graduation gowns, figure out what it costs to get you some props for whatever niche you choose and put that on there. So let's just say we want to budget. For me, this would be higher because gowns cost a lot. All right. But for you, it may not be. Now, retouching services, automation is important. I vouch for learning how to edit, but once you get the repetition in on how to edit, outsource your editing, right? We outsource our editing, right? For me, it's a pride thing. I had to learn first, but since I know now, I'm like, man, I can automate this. So you need to automate your editing. So how much do you want to automate for your editing, right? So our retoucher charges $5 an image. If our retoucher charges $5 an image, and let's say I do 5 shoots a month, and I give each client 5 images, now I need to do 5 times 5, it's 25 times 12. That's gonna give my annual estimate, right? My monthly estimate is gonna be 5 times 5, which is gonna be $25 times 5. 5 clients times 5 images. Each client gets 5 images, right? So 5 clients, each client gets 5 images times 5 is $25. So I need to put that on here. Figure out, find you a retoucher. Figure out how much they're gonna charge you. And put that in here. So we're gonna budget that. But let's go on the high end. Let's just put it up there, say 50. Now, shipping expenses, right? This can vary depending on which business model you are doing for your photography business. So you're doing IPS, you're gonna have shipping expenses. If you're shipping stuff out to a client that came from Cleveland, to a client that came from LA, you're gonna have to ship stuff out to them, right? So I would just put 25, but if you're doing shoot and burn and you say, man, I don't care about my time, I still want to do shoot and burn, put $25 on there. Studio assistant, 2 is better than 1. You need somebody to help you. Remember, I'm doing 5 shoots a month, and all of my shoots are 2 hours, and I'm paying somebody $16 an hour. I mean, I need an assistant for $32 per shoot, and 32 times 5, because I'm doing 5 shoots a month, it's gonna give me $160. So I need to budget $160 a month for shoots. We put that in there. Now, studio rent, utilities, insurance. What do you may have a membership at a studio, right? You may have your own studio, but if you have a membership at a studio, most of them are going to be between $100 and $500. Let's aim on the high end, because you want a quality studio. You want a studio that has quality for you. So let's aim it on the high end. Now, your subscriptions and your memberships, right? I'm associated with the PPA. The PPA is Professional Photographers of America. That's $30 a month to get access to that community, but it's so worth it, right? So I got to allocate $30 a month. Now, with your vehicle expenses, how you can do this, if you have a car, you got to get gas and you got to pay your car insurance or your car note, add that up. If it costs you $40 a shoot, to fill your tank, and you got 5 shoots, that's $200 on top of your car note, on top of your car insurance. You need to put that in there. So let's just aim on a high end for $1,000. Let's say if you don't have a car, I say like, man, I don't even have a car, right? If you don't have a car, then you need to take however much it will take you to get to the studio. So let's say if it take you $25 to get there, using Uber, and $25 to get back, that's $50 a trip. You do 50 times the amount of clients you want to serve a month, which is 5, as for the example we're doing. That means you're going to need $250 a month in vehicle expenses, right? Which is okay. Now, your website and your domain, which is the last one. Wix, I use Wix. Wix is $32 a month. My domain is going to be about, I think, like $10 a year. That's probably like $1 or 80 cents a month. So I'm just gonna put on here $33. We're gonna round it. All right. So if you see, we put in all of that, right? It gave us what we need to make monthly. It gave us what we need to make yearly. All right. It gave us what we need to make yearly. Now, remember, this is our salary. How much do we need to make a month times 12? So your DTE, your gas, what's the averages, right? You have to go back and dig, man. And this is so important. I can't stress this enough. And a lot of people may say, man, why are we going over all of this? Because it's so important, because you do not want to charge what other people charge. Their bills are not your bills. Your bills are not theirs, right? Stop copying other people's prices. Do the work to get you. You only got to do this one time, maybe every year, right? Because as you continue to grow your business, you got to change your numbers up. But you're only gonna have to do this probably one time a year. So once you calculate all that, I know from my mentor, what we need to put on there is I need to make 5,000. I'm sorry, it's gonna be 5,000 a month, but this is yearly, so it's gonna be 60,000 a year. I have to. And also too, as well, yours may not be that. Yours may be, look, man, I just want to make more than what I make at my job. All right. So if you got a job right now, I will time what you make at your job, all right, a month times 12. That's gonna give you the yearly you make. Then I want you to double that and put that as your desired net income, because you're an entrepreneur now. So double it. Yes, you can double it. If you're making 40, put 80. If you're making 15, put 30. Making 20, put 40. Double it. Bet on yourself that you can do it, right? And let's say we want to save $1,000 a month, so it's gonna be $12,000 a year. It's gonna give me my taxes. It's gonna give me the health insurance. It's gonna give me, so let's say your health insurance. Let's say you come out of $300 to $500 a month. Let's aim on a high end, right? Well, 500 times 12 would be 6,000. So we put in all of our numbers. This is the longest part, but this is the best part, because this is how you get to where you want to go, y'all. This is how you get to where you want to go. So now it tells me that my cost of doing business, what I need to make a year for my business to run, take care of myself, it's $131,381. And I promise you, you can do this. I promise you, you can do this. I promise you, you can do this, right? Your numbers are not going to be my numbers. So remember, we 10 under 10 club, right? We 10 under 10 club. So with the 10 under 10 club, I want to do 10 sessions a month. The cool thing about this, let's say if you say, man, look, Jess, give me your time, I'm going to do 20. You change it. Now you usually make $10,000 a month, and your lowest package can be no lower than $547. Let's say you want to do 30. Your lowest package would be no more than $364. But if it's 10, tripping. Your lowest package should be no more than $1,100. If it's 4, your lowest package should be no more than $2,800. The goal is to get lower, not go higher. Imagine doing one session a month, 4 clients. That's my goal. I only want to serve 4 people a week. 4 people a month. That's the goal I want to get to. All right. And you're going to get there, right? You're going to get to the point where it's one client, and one client is cutting check, 11,000, paying all your bills. You probably need 2, because that's not going to be profit, but paying all your bills. So if you're just starting out, you opening up to this new pricing era, right? I would just do 10. No more than 10. We striving to get 10, which means you need to make, if this was you need to be able to crack $1,100 is your lowest package. Now, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more juicier on day 4, right? Day 3 is super powerful, but day 4 right here, the cool thing about this pricing calculator is once you get your numbers, when we get to day 4, we're gonna create our packages. It's gonna create the packages for you. It's going to create the packages for you, so you don't have to do any work at all. No work at all, but we here. So remember, people will pay your price. You just got to believe it. If you do not believe nobody will pay your price, nobody's not going to pay it. But you got to believe. Right? If you're on Zoom, right? If you're on Instagram Live, right? If you're on YouTube, right? If you're in the course, you got to believe that you're worth it. Find the reason that you are worth it. Remember that deep why? I'm worth it because I want to provide for my family. I'm worth it because I want to be able to cover the tab. I want to take a trip. I am worth it. So let's talk about the homework. And I promise you guys, at the end of these 5 days, you're going to be so elite. You're going to be so elite. So the homework, the first thing you got to do is you got to calculate your cost of doing business. Right? Calculate your cost of doing business. Number 2 is going to be calculate your monthly salary. Add up your bills and put that in there. So number 1, cost of doing business. Number 2, I'm typing this in the chat. Figure out your monthly salary. And number 3, decide how many clients you want to serve a month. If you brave, you say, look, man, I only want to do 1 a week and I want to crack my bills. Put 4. And say, man, look, I just want to start. I can start out with 10. Put 10. Right? Determine how many clients you want to serve a month. All right. Once you do that, what I need you to do, the last thing, is take a picture of your homework and send it to me. Now, y'all know how we ended the last one. If y'all don't mind, this was a quick lesson. If you want this pricing calculator, let me know. Comment pricing calculator on Zoom or on the Instagram Live or on the YouTube Live. Comment pricing calculator. I will send it to you. It is $27, but it does the work for you. If you don't want it, you prefer to do the work yourself, no problem. Just get a sheet of paper, create 2 columns, annual and monthly. All right. If you want the pricing calculator, it's also indexing here so you know everything that you need to cover. And it's also a follow-along video that I created for y'all for you to have to walk you through. Like, it's literally 45 minutes. You'll be done with this part. All right, 45 minutes out of your day. You can be done with this part. So homework, determine your cost of doing business. Determine your monthly salary. Determine how many clients you want to serve a month. We stand under 10. Take a picture of your homework. And lastly, if you can, you don't mind, you want to help me out, please take a picture of your notes. Tell me what you got from today. Your favorite thing you got from today, right? Send it to me. I would really appreciate it if y'all could do that. Now, before we end, I did not open the floor up for questions yesterday, but if you want to leave your questions in the chat really quick, if you want to leave your questions on live, I want to answer. I want to get specific, right? Maybe I missed something, or maybe it's something that you have a question on. Let me know really quick while I am getting the pricing calculator link ready to send to you guys right now. If you got any questions, let me know. Getting that link together right now for you guys really quick. Okay. Once we do the cost of doing business, what is next? So once you do the cost of doing business, what is next is you are going to determine, right? You know how much you need to make. Now you need to figure out who is going to pay your price, which is what we cover tomorrow, right? I'm going to help you find the person who is able to pay your price, right? We're going to unpack that. Who is able to pay your price? That's the next step after this, because you don't know who would pay your price. You can't get nobody to pay it. And I want to help everybody establish themselves as a specialist, right? as a specialist in their field, in their respective niches. So, you know me, I'm all about niches. And I'm going to help you find your ideal client, your niche, so that you are able to do what's necessary to grow your photography business. That's a good question. What's next? I'm going to take one more before we close out. I sent the pricing calculator over to you guys in the chat. If you want to join the challenge, DM me pricing. A lot of people will DM me pricing. You want to join the challenge, DM me pricing. Send me a picture of your notes and what you got from today. That would really, really help me a lot for our next challenge to be able to market. Send me a picture of that. A couple announcements. We do have the Plan Your Future business planning workshop coming up June 24th. If you have been stuck and you blew the last 3 months, right? You just fumbled it, right? It's okay. You can bounce back at the halfway mark. I understand. You want to book more clients, right? You want to book more clients, but what is the plan you have to get there? And if you are not in the room with over 50 plus photographers on June 24th, you're going to miss out. Halfway mark of the year. So we got no more questions. This was powerful today, man. It's a little slower, but I promise you, if you take action on today, you go back and watch the replay, you go grab the pricing calculator, that's going to speed you through, right? So why spend 2 hours watching this and then doing it when you just grab the pricing calculator and be done in 45 minutes, which will help you get to the next level. Coach Jet out.